All right, so are you ready for a deep dive that's, even for us, a little out there?
Oh, yeah.
We're going deep into conspiracy theories this time.
Sounds good.
A 2017 clip from Alex Jones analyzing
Oh, Alex Jones.
Ridley Scott's movie Prometheus.
Hmm.
You know, the one that came out in 2012.
But
Let's just say Jones doesn't hold back on the bold claims.
I would imagine not with Alex Jones.
So we've got the audio clips, some background on Prometheus, and a little bit about Jones's, conspiracy theory style.
Okay.
What rabbit hole are we jumping down today?
Well, let's see.
Well, Jones starts off by saying that Prometheus
Okay.
hides secret truths about aliens
Okay.
and a super powerful elite who's controlling everything.
Okay, so right off the bat, we've got a very common theme in conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
The idea that there's this hidden truth out there,
right.
and the people in charge are actively trying to keep it from us.
And he doesn't just drop that bombshell
Right.
and walk away. He actually claims that he predicted this whole thing years ago.
Okay. And even says that Ridley Scott would eventually come out and admit these so-called truths.
Interesting.
He even brings up his
Okay.
own YouTube video as proof.
Oh, really?
It's called Secrets of Prometheus Revealed or Leaked.
Uh-huh.
But then he complains that it has way fewer views than Scott's movie.
Had a little bit of a bruised ego, maybe?
Right.
But it's important to remember Prometheus is a sci-fi movie.
Right.
Exploring humanity's origins.
Right.
It makes you think, sure,
Yeah.
but it's not exactly confirming any real-world conspiracies.
Well, Jones doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
He goes on to link Ridley Scott, Oxford University, and this shadowy elite
And
with
a lot with stuff.
satanic rituals.
Ah, the satanic panic. This idea pops up a lot in these kinds of theories,
Right.
playing on people's fears of the unknown and things that are taboo,
Yeah.
especially during times of social change or uncertainty. People can latch on to this idea
Yeah.
of a hidden evil working against them.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
and unfortunately,
Lead to real world harm.
he even claims that he was personally invited to join these rituals,
Oh, wow.
but refused.
That's classic Alex Jones. It's like he's saying, I'm one of the few who knows the truth,
Yeah,
and I'm putting myself at risk to tell you
right.
this idea having insider knowledge
Right,
while simultaneously denouncing the group that he's supposedly part of.
right.
It's a very clever, albeit manipulative way to build credibility with his audience.
It's like he's playing the role of both the insider and the rebel
Yeah.
at the same time.
At the same time.
But wouldn't most people who were truly invited to these supposed satanic rituals and were actually against that sort of thing just keep quiet about the whole ordeal,
I think so, right?
to protect themselves from whatever powerful group was behind it?
That's a great point. You'd think so.
Yeah.
But framing it the way Jones does,
Yeah.
by claiming to have rejected this elite group,
Right.
it further bolsters his image as a truth teller.
Yeah.
It feeds into that whole David versus Goliath narrative
Yeah. Sorry.
that's so common in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
He's the brave hero standing up to the powerful evil forces.
Right. And it plays on those deep-seated fears we talked about, like
Mhm.
secret groups controlling everything, the allure of forbidden knowledge and rituals.
Right.
And even the belief that fictional works contain hidden messages about reality.
Right.
These ideas resonate with people, especially those who are already feeling distrustful of authority or mainstream narratives.
Absolutely. Prometheus, with its themes of creation, ancient beings, and the search for meaning,
Right.
becomes a perfect canvas for Jones to project these conspiratorial interpretations onto.
Okay, so you've got a famous director, prestigious university satanic rituals, and Alex Jones claiming he was invited to the party, but
Whoa.
valiantly refused.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Oh,
Because I have a feeling it's going to get even wilder.
You haven't heard the half of it, buckle up, because Jones throws in time travel and a cosmic battle between good and evil for good measure.
Wait, what, time travel?
Yep.
This is getting into some seriously out there territory.
He claims that they, meaning this shadowy elite, sent people back in time to try to stop him.
Oh, wow.
But don't worry, because according to Jones, there are benevolent forces in the universe battling against this evil elite.
Okay, so not only are there secret societies and satanic rituals,
Right?
but there's also time travel and a cosmic war happening right under our noses.
Oh, yeah.
Jones has officially entered peak conspiracy theory territory.
He has a real knack for weaving together
Yeah.
familiar tropes from various conspiracy theories, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Time travel is a popular one.
Yeah.
It allows theorists to explain away inconsistencies or bolster the idea of an ongoing hidden power struggle.
Right.
And the concept of a cosmic battle between good and evil really amps up the stakes, creating a sense of urgency and importance around his message.
Uh-huh.
It's like a real-life superhero movie playing out on the world stage.
It's almost like he's drawing from a well-established playbook of conspiracy theory elements,
Real-
blending them together to create a uniquely compelling, albeit completely unsubstantiated narrative.
Right.
But even though it sounds crazy, there's something about the way he tells the story that makes it kind of captivating.
Oh, absolutely.
Wouldn't you say?
It's the storytelling aspect.
Mhm.
He's a master at weaving together these familiar tropes.
Yeah.
David versus Goliath,
Mm.
the hidden war for humanity's fate,
Right.
into this grand narrative that draws people in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful cocktail of fear, intrigue, and even a little bit of hope, all packaged in a way that grabs your attention and keeps you hooked.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that not everyone who listens to Alex Jones believes everything he says.
Right.
Some might find him entertaining,
Yeah.
others might agree with certain points while dismissing others.
So before we get too lost in this rabbit hole, I
Okay.
think we need to take a step back and ask ourselves, why are we even exploring this?
Yeah.
What can we learn from a clip like this, even if we don't believe a word of it?
That's a fantastic question, and it gets to the heart of what we do here on the Deep Dive.
Right.
We're not just here to debunk or ridicule conspiracy theories.
Right.
We want to understand how they work,
Right.
what makes them so appealing, and what they can tell us about the anxieties and fears of our society.
It's like we're holding a magnifying glass up to these narratives,
Yeah.
examining the specific elements, the techniques used, and the psychological buttons they push.
Yeah.
By understanding how they work, we can better equip ourselves to spot them in the wild and understand why they might appeal to certain people.
Exactly. And it's not just about protecting ourselves from misinformation.
Right.
Understanding these narratives, no matter how outlandish they might seem, can give us insights into the social and cultural trends that shape our world.
Okay.
They can tell us a lot about the anxieties, fears, and hopes that people are grappling with in a time when the world often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
So even though we might chuckle at the time travel and alien conspiracies,
Yeah.
we're not here to dismiss or mock those who believe in them. Instead, we're trying to understand the underlying reasons why these narratives take root and gain traction.
Right. We're all susceptible to believing things that confirm our existing biases
Yeah.
or offer simple explanations for complex problems. And let's be honest, sometimes the truth is just plain boring,
Right.
while a good conspiracy theory can be incredibly exciting and make you feel like you're in the know,
Yeah.
part of a select group that sees the world for what it truly is.
And that brings us to a crucial point. Even though these theories can seem harmless, even entertaining, they can have real-world consequences.
Yeah.
People make decisions, sometimes very impactful ones,
Right.
based on the information they consume, whether it's accurate or not.
You're absolutely right. We've seen how these types of narratives can lead to distrust in institutions,
Yeah.
social isolation, and even violence.
Mm-hmm.
The Pizzagate incident is a chilling reminder of that.
Yeah.
Remember, that was fueled by an online conspiracy theory that went viral, claiming a Washington, D.C. pizzeria was a front for a child sex trafficking ring led by prominent Democrats.
Right.
It ended with a man firing an assault rifle inside the restaurant, convinced he was saving children.
That's a stark reminder that the line between online conspiracies and real-world harm can be incredibly thin. And that brings us back to Prometheus and Alex Jones.
Okay.
By analyzing his claims,
Yeah.
even the ones that seem outlandish,
Right.
we can start to understand the mechanics of these belief systems and the potential dangers they pose.
Absolutely. We need to develop those critical thinking skills so we can evaluate information, question sources, and be more informed citizens.
Okay, so we've set the stage. Alex Jones, Prometheus, satanic rituals, time travel, and a cosmic battle.
Wow.
Now it's time to go deeper. What are some of the other themes
Okay.
Jones touches on in this clip, and how do they connect to broader conspiracy theory trends?
Let's delve into that. Jones mentions this idea that the elite are tapped into something they don't want you to know about.
Okay.
That's a core element of many conspiracy theories.
Right.
This concept of hidden knowledge, forbidden truths that are being kept from the masses,
Yeah.
is a powerful motivator for people seeking answers.
Right.
It fuels a sense of us versus them and distrust of authority.
Okay. That makes sense. It's like being part of a secret club.
Yeah.
You have access to information that most people don't, which can make you feel special, informed, even powerful in a way.
Exactly. And that feeling of being in the know can be addictive, especially when it confirms existing beliefs or biases.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that just because something sounds secretive or exclusive doesn't mean it's true.
Right. There's a difference between healthy skepticism,
Yeah.
questioning things, and blind belief.
Right.
So how does Jones tie this back to Prometheus?
Well, he basically reiterates his initial claim that he predicted Ridley Scott would eventually reveal the truth about aliens and the elite.
Okay.
And he suggests that people are finally starting to listen to him now that Scott has supposedly confirmed his theory.
You know, it's interesting how he positions himself as a visionary, someone who was ahead of the curve. In recognizing these hidden truths, it reinforces that narrative of him being a lone truth teller, battling against powerful forces trying to suppress the truth.
It's a very effective way of framing himself,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
It plays into that classic underdog narrative
right.
that's so appealing, especially to those who feel marginalized or unheard.
Yeah.
He becomes the voice of the people speaking truth to power, even if that power is based on fabricated claims and misinterpretations of a science fiction film.
It almost feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy. He predicts something will happen.
Right.
Then when a movie comes out that can be loosely interpreted to support his claim, he points to it as proof he was right all along.
Exactly.
It's a clever way to build credibility and draw in more followers.
And by tying his claims to a popular film like Prometheus, he's tapping into a pre-existing audience, people who are already familiar with the imagery and themes of the movie.
Right.
It's a brilliant, albeit misleading way to broaden his reach and legitimize his narrative.
Yeah. So we've got hidden knowledge, satanic rituals, time travel, a cosmic battle, and now Alex Jones is the visionary truth teller. It's a wild ride, to say the least.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, boy.
But before we go deeper, I think it's a good time to shift gears a bit and talk about the psychology of conspiracy theories.
Oh, okay.
What makes people susceptible to believing them even when evidence is lacking?
Yeah.
Why are these narratives so captivating, even when they seem outlandish or illogical?
Okay, that's a great question. Let's take a moment to unpack that and explore what makes people pick, especially when it comes to these alternative explanations of the world.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into the psychology behind these captivating yet often misleading conspiracy theories.
Okay.
What makes people susceptible to believing them, even when evidence is scarce?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can laugh at some of the more out there claims,
Right.
but it's important to understand why these narratives gain traction in the first place.
Uh-huh.
What makes people believe even when there's no concrete proof?
Well, several factors are at play.
Okay.
One is our natural human tendency to look for patterns and explanations, even when they don't exist. We're hardwired to seek meaning in the world around us.
Right.
Sometimes that leads us to connect dots that aren't really there.
It's like seeing shapes in clouds or faces in random objects, right?
Exactly.
Our brains are constantly trying to make sense of things.
Yeah.
Even if it means imposing order where there is none.
Exactly. And when we're dealing with complex or unsettling events,
Yeah.
conspiracy theories can offer a sense of control and understanding that's otherwise missing.
Okay.
They provide a simple, often compelling narrative that helps people make sense of chaos and feel like they have some insider knowledge.
So instead of accepting that sometimes bad things happen randomly or that the world is complex and often unpredictable,
Right.
it's more comforting to believe there's a group of people, however shadowy or nefarious, pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Right. It gives people a sense of agency.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just passive victims of circumstance.
Yeah.
They feel like they're in the know, that they have a grasp on what's really happening.
But it's not just about finding patterns or seeking control, is it?
Yeah.
There's also a social element to these theories.
Absolutely.
They can foster a sense of community and belonging among those who believe them.
Sharing these beliefs, especially when they're seen as going against the mainstream, can create strong bonds between people.
Okay.
It's like being part of a secret club, a group of enlightened individuals who possess special knowledge.
It taps into that very human desire to feel like you're on the inside, that you're privy to information most people aren't.
Yeah,
And let's face it, that can be a pretty powerful feeling.
it certainly is. And social media has amplified this dynamic, creating echo chambers where people can easily connect with others who share their beliefs.
Right.
Algorithms often show us content that aligns with our existing views, reinforcing those beliefs and making them harder to challenge.
So it's not just about individual psychology, it's also about how information is spread and consumed in our digital age. Precisely. We have to be mindful of the ways in which technology can facilitate the spread of information, but also distort our understanding of reality.
So knowing all of this, how do we become more discerning consumers of information?
Yeah, that's the question.
How do we avoid falling prey to these narratives, especially in a world where it's so hard to distinguish fact from fiction?
Awareness is the first step.
Okay.
We all have biases, and those biases can influence how we interpret information.
Right.
We need to be critical of what we see and hear, especially online,
Uh-huh.
and seek out diverse perspectives on any given issue.
So don't just accept things at face value, especially if they come from sources known to be unreliable or have a clear agenda.
Exactly. Do your own research, cross-check information, and be wary of anything that seems too good to be true
Right.
or conveniently confirms your existing biases.
It's also helpful to develop a healthy skepticism towards claims presented without evidence,
Yes.
or that rely heavily on emotional appeals. Right? Ask yourself what evidence is being presented to support this claim. Is the source credible? Are there other possible explanations? Don't just jump to conclusions without carefully considering all angles.
And don't be afraid to challenge your own beliefs.
Yes.
Be open to the possibility that you might be wrong, and be willing to change your mind when presented with new evidence.
That's crucial. Humility and intellectual curiosity are essential for navigating today's complex information landscape.
So it sounds like becoming a more discerning consumer of information requires a mix of critical thinking skills, media literacy, and a good dose of self-awareness.
Absolutely. And it's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
We need to constantly question, evaluate, and adjust our understanding of the world based on new information.
It's like working a muscle, right? The more we practice critical thinking and media literacy, the stronger those skills become, and the better equipped we are to navigate this world of information overload.
Well put. And remember, it's okay to ask for help.
Oh, yeah.
If you're unsure about something, reach out to someone you trust. Consult a fact-checking website or do some independent research.
Yeah.
There are resources available to help us navigate these challenges.
It's like we always say here on The Deep Dive, knowledge is power, but only when it's accurate and well-informed.
All right, so let's keep diving deepening.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions and keep striving to be the most informed and engaged citizens we can be.
This deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
We've covered the allure of conspiracy theories, the importance of critical thinking, and how our brains are wired to seek patterns and meaning.
Right.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
let's revisit Alex Jones's central claim that Prometheus holds hidden truths about aliens and a powerful elite.
And Gabe, it's always interesting to go back to the source material and see how it stands up under scrutiny.
It's important to remember that Prometheus is a work of fiction open to interpretation.
Right.
Different viewers might take away different messages, and it's certainly possible to find themes that resonate with real-world concerns.
That's the beauty of art, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can spark conversations, challenge assumptions, and make us think about the world in new ways.
Exactly. But we also need to distinguish between artistic expression and factual claims.
Yes.
Just because a film explores certain themes doesn't mean it's endorsing them or presenting them as literal truths.
Right. We need to be mindful of the difference between storytelling and reality,
Mm.
especially when dealing with sensitive or potentially harmful topics.
So while Prometheus offers a thought-provoking exploration of humanity's origins and our place in the universe, we should approach it as a work of fiction, not a documentary or blueprint for real-world events.
Well said. We can appreciate the artistry and the ideas it presents without necessarily subscribing to every interpretation or reading too much into symbolism.
Okay, so we've explored the psychology behind conspiracy theories, discussed strategies for becoming more discerning consumers of information, and revisited the source material that sparked this conversation.
Right.
But before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder.
I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
We've talked about the dangers of misinformation and the importance of critical thinking, but what about the role of creativity and imagination in all of this?
Ooh, that's an interesting angle. I like where you're going with this.
We often associate conspiracy theories with paranoia and distrust.
Right.
But what if we could harness that same creative energy, that same impulse to connect dots and see patterns
Yeah.
for something more positive?
That's a great question. It's like flipping the script.
Yeah.
Instead of using our imaginations to fuel fear and division, what if we use them to imagine a better future, solve problems, and create inspiring art and stories?
Exactly. What if we channeled that energy into building bridges instead of walls,
Yeah.
into fostering understanding and empathy instead of suspicion and distrust?
That's a deep dive I can get behind.
Right.
It's a reminder that we have a choice in how we use our imaginations and that we have the power to create a more informed, compassionate, and hopeful world.
So let's leave our listeners with that challenge. to use their creativity and critical thinking skills not only to navigate the information age, but also to imagine and build a better future for all.
Beautifully said. That's a perfect note to end on.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep imagining.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Alex Jones' Prometheus and the power of narrative,
Uh-huh.
I'm struck by this idea of storytelling as a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
How so?
Yes.
On one hand, we've been dissecting the dangers of misinformation
Right.
and how conspiracy theories can warp our understanding of reality.
Right.
We've stressed the importance of critical thinking and seeking out evidence-based perspectives.
We've established that it's crucial to be informed consumers of information,
Yeah.
to question our assumptions, and to really dig into the evidence before forming strong opinions.
But at the same time, we've also been talking about the power of stories themselves,
Yeah.
the allure of mystery,
Right.
and the role of imagination in making sense of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those elements are essential to the human experience.
Right.
They shape our understanding of the world, fuel our creativity, and help us connect on a deeper level.
So how do we reconcile these seemingly opposing forces?
Right.
How can we appreciate a good story, a compelling narrative,
Yeah.
without falling prey to misinformation and manipulation?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to a delicate balance.
Yeah.
We need to be able to distinguish between fiction and reality
Yeah.
to recognize the difference between a well-crafted story
Right.
and a factual claim.
It's like enjoying a magic show.
Uh-huh.
For what it is, a performance, an
Mhm.
illusion.
Yeah.
We can be amazed by the tricks without believing the magician actually possesses supernatural powers.
Exactly. We can appreciate the artistry, the
Right.
skill,
Right.
the suspension of disbelief without taking it all literally.
Yeah.
And I think that same principle applies to conspiracy theories.
Okay.
We can acknowledge the allure of the mystery, the intrigue of hidden knowledge, without buying into the whole narrative.
It's about recognizing that there's a difference between healthy skepticism, questioning things,
Right.
and outright paranoia, rejecting everything that doesn't fit a specific worldview.
Right. And it's important to remember that not all stories are created equal.
Right.
Some are meant to inform, to educate, to inspire.
Yeah.
Others are crafted to manipulate, to deceive, to sow discord and distrust.
So, as consumers of information, it's more important than ever to be discerning, to be critical, to ask questions, and seek out sources that have a track record of accuracy and integrity.
Well said. We need to be active participants
Yeah.
in shaping the narratives that influence our world.
Right.
We need to be both critical thinkers and compassionate
Yeah,
listeners.
so ultimately, the stories we tell ourselves and each other have immense power.
Yeah.
They can influence our beliefs, our actions, and our relationships with the world around us.
That's why it's so crucial to choose our stories wisely, to be mindful of the narratives we consume and the ones we perpetuate.
And to remember that while we might not always agree on the specifics, we all share a common humanity. Yeah.
We all have hopes and fears, dreams and aspirations.
Beautifully put. So let's keep telling stories, let's keep asking questions, and let's keep striving to create a world where truth, empathy, and imagination can flourish.
That's a goal worth working towards. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Alex Jones' Prometheus and the enduring power of narratives.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.